Hi everyone, I hope you're all well. I am really sorry there's been a delay in my filming at the moment because I've been so busy doing college work, and because the weather's been so great here in Scotland, I've been outside doing a lot of things like just chilling in my garden, seeing my boyfriend and all that. So I've been quite busy, so I apologise for that. But anyway, today's blog is going to be my final blog on autism for the month. And today's blog, I'm going to be telling you guys 10 facts about autism, which you may already know or you may not know. So I hope you guys enjoy this and learn a bit more about it. And yeah, let's get into it. So boys are 4 times more likely to get diagnosed than girls when it goes to the autism diagnosing process. Um, couldn't say that there. But yeah, the reason they get diagnosed more is because boys show their autism more. It's more noticeable in boys and display more typical autism behaviours. But when it comes to girls, we're more likely to mask in social situations to fit in. So it's a lot less noticeable in girls than it is in guys. But but you probably find that a lot more girls have autism than we realise because a lot of girls hide it. But the reality is, probably just as many girls have autism than boys. But because we hide it so much, it's really hard for girls to get a diagnosis. So you find a lot of girls don't get diagnosed till their adulthood because their signs are just so unnoticeable. I started getting diagnosed for autism when I was about 5 or something, and the diagnosing process took forever. I didn't find out till I was 11. It took multiple hospital visits and assessments to get to the point to find out I was autistic, and they compared the two videos and they found out, yeah, she's definitely autistic, and it was a huge relief to actually find out. But yeah, it is a very long process, and girls in particular usually have to wait ages. People who have autism are more likely to have other conditions with their autism. So, for example, someone with autism may have ADHD and anxiety with their condition, so they're more likely to have other things with their condition. I wouldn't be surprised if I had more than just autism. All I know is that I have autism because it took so long to get diagnosed. I can't really be like bothered going through the whole process for something else again. But for some reason, but I think I might have like social anxiety and possibly ADHD. Mum tried to get me tested for that, but it's just too long again. But I don't think I have dyslexia because I spell quite fine and I pass my higher English easy. So I think I might have ADHD and possible and social. I think I definitely have social anxiety, ADHD maybe, but I don't know for sure. So I don't go around saying, "Oh, I have ADHD and social anxiety," because I don't like going around saying things that I don't even know about and they're maybe not even true. So, but all I know is that I'm autistic, but I think I might have other conditions besides it because most people with autism do have other conditions with their autism. But yeah, it's another fact that most people with autism have another condition with their autism. And I think when it comes to anxiety, most of them have most more have social anxiety than other anxiety just because we get so stressed out in social situations and struggle with that most. And ADHD is a very common one with autism. There's a lot of people with autism who have ADHD with it. So yeah. There are no cures for autism, and there should never be any cures for autism because autistic people don't need to be cured. Like I said in my last video, we don't need to be cured. We're great the way we are. We just see life in a different way, and that's good because it means we're different, and to be born we're all the same. So like anyone, we all have our strengths and weaknesses. We're all different in our own interesting ways. So there's no reason to cure us, and like don't listen to autism speaks. They always go on about curing autistic people and all that, and how like they're very friendly and good to us, but no, they're not because they don't have a single autistic person on board, so never support Autism Speaks. As I said in many videos, Autism Speaks is not a good charity, and I'm not going to go into depth with it right now, but yeah, there's no cure for autism, and there never should be a cure for autism because we don't need a cure. So there's quite a lot of people with autism that are not diagnosed till adulthood. You get some people with autism that get diagnosed as early as like 18 months, and those people are like really lucky because the earlier you get diagnosed, the better it is. But like some don't get diagnosed right into their adulthood and find that they really struggle during high school and college and uni and work or whatever they do because they haven't got the support behind them. So it's really difficult for them to be able to like get through it because they're kind of like thinking, what do I have? And they're like kind of lost in themselves and all that. Because once you're autistic, you can learn to accept yourself. Before you don't know, it's kind of difficult to. So I was really glad to find out I was autistic when I was 11 because even though it was annoying constantly getting learned support help in high school, it actually benefited me because I learned how to accept myself and love myself for who I was. But yeah, a lot of people don't get diagnosed until adulthood, and this can be a challenge. And especially for those who get diagnosed so late on, they get some people that get diagnosed to like their 40s or 50s, or you get some people that never get diagnosed. They'll never find out they're autistic. They'll just struggle their whole lives, and it's a shame. So, but it is unfortunately a common thing because there's only so much help you can get, and access to getting like an autism diagnosis is not easy, and you're on lots and lots of waiting lists. Like some of the waiting lists can be like a year or two. Like we had to wait ages to find out I was autistic and go through many assessments to get there, so it's really not an easy process. So yeah, that's why a lot don't get found out till their adulthood, especially if they have a lot of hidden symptoms. And this is why girls struggle, because we more like hide our autism than boys. But there is obviously boys out there who don't get diagnosed till adulthood either. So it's not just girls, it's boys too. But yeah, it's a common thing. So up to 40% of people with autism don't speak. So that means the other 60% of us can speak. So it's a myth to say that all autistic people can't speak, because that's not true. And even though those 40% can't speak, they can like communicate in other ways. Like for example, they can communicate through sign language, they can communicate through technology like an iPad or something like that. And some people who are nonverbal when they're autistic, when they're older, they might start to learn how to talk. So don't lose faith in your child if they can't talk or anything, because eventually they might be able to, and even if they don't, it's still important to love them the way they are, and there'll be other ways for them to like communicate, and they'll still have their strengths and weaknesses like the rest of people who have autism and everyone else. Yeah yeah, there's nothing wrong with not being able to communicate. Obviously it makes it harder because you don't know how they're feeling or what they're going through and all those kinds of things, but you learn to adapt. So but yeah, 40% is quite a good chunk of us. So socializing is a very hard thing for people with autism. And I think every autistic person struggles with socializing to a point, because that's one of like the main things we really struggle with, and one of the biggest things when it comes to autism. But yeah. I've only just learnt this fact, but I found out drowning is the leading cause of death for autistic people. And I never actually knew this before, but basically I have a story from when I was about 7. I was in Gran Canaria, and basically I went in the pool, I jumped into the deep end, and I nearly drowned. Because I couldn't swim. I couldn't swim at that time. I was only 7. I didn't learn to swim until I was 9. So I had like armbands, but I forgot to wear my armbands because I was like to Dad, I can swim, I can swim. I just jumped in and I nearly drowned. So I did it a couple of times, put myself in trouble like that. So yeah, like us autistics, we're very highly likely to drown. It does make sense after what I did a couple of times. So yeah, drowning's like leading cause of deaths for autistic people, because the reason I think this is because a lot of autistic people don't have awareness of danger. Like I am aware of danger, don't worry, I can cross the road, I can walk out the house and know that I could put myself at risk. Like I won't walk through alleyways at night and all that, you know what I mean? So I do care about my safety, so don't worry about that. But a lot of autistic people aren't aware of their safety, and they can just run out and do things that can put them in serious danger. So, and it is quite a common thing. Like I've heard of stories of autistic people doing like really dangerous things. It's really scary, like just running out the house and not looking out for themselves, and like yeah. So I can see why this is like the leading death, because a lot of us autistics are actually drawn to water. Like we love water. Like I love swimming. It's one of my favorite things, and I think. And I know other autistic people the same. They love water and all that, like, because it's just so relaxing being in the water, isn't it? So relaxing swimming and all that. Like, it's a very relaxing thing to do. So I see why autistic people like it. So I could see why drowning's a leading death, because we're not always aware of dangers. There's only about 16% of adults in full-time pay in the UK, which is a terribly low status. The reason for this is because a lot of autistic people don't get the support they need as they go into adulthood. People just presume, oh, you're an adult now, you don't have autism anymore, you've outgrew it. Like, that's not true, that's an absolute myth. Once you're diagnosed with autism, but once you're born with autism, you have autism your whole life. It doesn't just go in the bin and that's it. We need more support for autistic adults. Every autistic adult that lives on this planet, like any condition, should be allowed to have support in adulthood. They don't have to take it. If someone can cope fine in life, like myself, I can just say, no, I'm fine without it, and that's fine. But every autistic person should be available to support. It's only common sense, but no, they leave a lot of autistic people and say, that's it, get on with it. What if their parents die? What are they gonna do? Like, it's terrifying. Like, some autistic people really can't cope on their own and need life support because they won't make through life else. So it's really terrifying, and 16% of autistic people in jobs is not good enough. I'm not blaming autistic people here, obviously. I'm blaming the government and people just not helping them enough. Like, it's important to give the autistic people the help they need so they can go into full-time jobs because they deserve to live a happy, filled life. But some of them can't do that if we don't get the support we need. So yeah, it's a terrible statistics and this needs to change. 16% is just, it's not good enough. That's a really low stat. That basically means like most people with autism aren't in full-time jobs. Like, so that means what's the 16%, right? So if we take that off, that means, yeah, only 84% of autistic people, 84% of autistic people aren't even in full-time jobs. Like, when you say it like that, it's quite bad. This needs to change. Individuals on the autism spectrum are less likely to judge, and I'll tell you why. Because us autistics, like, because we've been through autism ourselves and gone through so many struggles ourselves, we'll be nice to everyone because we know how it feels to struggle, to suffer in life, to find things challenging, you know. So we'll always treat everyone with kindness. We know how it feels to be left out because there's been times where people are like, oh, we don't want to be your friend because you're autistic or whatever. And a lot of autistic people go through things like that. So we don't want people being left out. We make sure everyone's welcome, and that's something that's important to us. Like me, I hate when people get left out or upset because I know the feeling very well myself, being left out and not having many friends. So I don't want another person to feel that way. So we're less likely to judge people for their differences because we're different ourselves. We have something, we have a strength in us, and being autistic's cool. There's nothing wrong with being autistic. Like, nothing wrong with that at all. We're incredible the way we are, and like, we accept everyone for their differences because we know how it feels and we're different ourselves, and it's cool because everyone's different, eh? Autistic children become autistic adults. This should be common sense, but unfortunately it isn't. People seem to presume, like I said on a few points before, I said basically people just presume, oh, you're adult now, you outgrew autism, yay! That's not how it works. I remember on the first day I came to college and the lecture was on about like help support and that and all that for people who need help, and basically they were like just because you're an adult now doesn't mean to say you've outgrown dyslexia. You still need to fill in the form if you struggle and all that. And it's true because you don't outgrow any condition. Like, people seem to presume, oh, you outgrow so and so if you're an adult, but no, these conditions stick with you in adulthood. You're born with ADHD, you're born with dyslexia, you're born with autism, you're born with all these things. Like, some things you can develop, like depression and anxiety, but some conditions you're just born with, and autism is one of the conditions you're born with and stays with you for life. Like I said before, autistic adults need to get more support because the amount of support they get today is just not good enough, and they deserve support as adults because they'll struggle in society else, and that's talent going down this toilet. And it's such a shame because some autistic adults have some incredible talents and have incredible potential. People are just losing that because they're not giving them enough help when they could be fantastic in the workplace. In fact, they will be fantastic in the workplace if they get the support they need. So it's important to remember that an autistic child turns into an autistic adult, because if you don't think like that, then autistic adults will just struggle and suffer, and that's a shame. They don't deserve that. We don't deserve that. We deserve better. People on the autism spectrum are much more likely to get bullied when they're in college, school, the workplace. The reason for this is because we show obvious differences. Well, not all of us, because some of us like mask our autism. Like, I masked my autism a lot from my high school years. I tried to fit in with the other girls and all that, and did everything in my power to be like them. But like but some autistic people really show their differences, and people think, oh my god, that's so childish. You're so stupid. Why are you doing that? Oh, stop it, that's embarrassing, all that flapping you're doing. Like, yeah, it's stimming, there's nothing wrong with it. But the thing is, there's nothing wrong with autistic people. We're incredible in our own ways. Like, if we went and bullied you, you wouldn't be happy, would you? So don't do it to us. Like, this is what lowers self-esteem and makes us not enjoy things, because you're bullying us and we think, oh, we're not good enough, we won't be able to do that, because we have feelings like anyone else. You have to remember, autistic people have feelings, and we notice when you're being nasty to us. We notice when your behaviour is off and all that. So please just treat us like anyone else and talk to us like adults. Don't talk to us like children. Like, talk to us like you talk to anyone else, because that's important. Like, we don't want to be treated like children, because that's just really traumatizing. We don't like that, so please don't do that. But yeah, just treat us like you treat anyone else. Like, we have feelings. In fact, our feelings can be even more higher than those without autism, because we're quite sensitive. We're quite prone to like getting upset quite easily. So please don't hurt us in any way. We'll we'll do anything in our power to make sure people aren't left out. So don't leave us out and don't make us feel bad about ourselves. Like, it only shows how insecure you are to bully us. So it makes you look bad, it doesn't make you look any better. And to any autistic person that gets bullied, you are an incredible person. Don't let their horrible behavior get to you. You're an incredible person. You deserve to live on this planet. You are just amazing the way you are, and don't let their horrible behavior get to you, because they are insecure and they're upset with their own life. So don't let it get to you. You're amazing. Remember that. Thank you so much to everyone for watching my video on 10 facts about autism. This is my last video about autism for the month, since April's away next week. We're going to be into May next weekend, which I can't believe it. It's going to be my best friend's birthday this Saturday, so I'll be looking forward to seeing her and giving her my present. Her present, shall I say. I got it for her like a month ago. It's been sitting around for ages, and I've been so excited to give it to her, and now I'm be able to give it to her next week, and I can't wait to give it to her. And I think she's going to absolutely love the gift. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed the blog anyway, and I'll see you next week for another blog, a fun blog. So yeah, bye for now.